What is going on, everybody? I got some fun Last of Us 2 updates here. You can get the game on sale for an all-time low now, $40. What was really funny was, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they put the game on sale for $50. That apparently was not enough. Another funny fact is that there's already like 3 articles telling you that this game's on sale now. It's really funny to me how all of these gaming outlets push this game. Like, oh, maybe if we tell them it's on sale. Maybe if we tell them it's on sale, they'll jump right up and they'll want to buy it. I don't think that that's the case. But if you are looking for it, you can also get it $30 used on GameFly. It's probably $30 at GameStop as well. I haven't checked, but for a game this new, for a first-party game, which is what Last of Us 2 is, it's a first-party game, and it was supposed to be like the biggest game on the system, by the way. This game was supposed to be the game of the year, supposed to be selling all year long. That really didn't end up being the case. In fact, it's dropped off most charts, which I can show you right now. I went over to vgcharts.com, and this is sales for August. Now, Last of Us Part 2 ended up coming down to number 12 for sales in August. What's funny about this is that The Legend of Zelda ended up selling more, which has some people upset. There's a few people that are a little upset about that. They can't understand why. Why is the Breath of the Wild game that's pretty old by now outselling The Last of Us Part 2? The usual suspects, they're pretty upset about it. In fact, there's now a whole thread over at Reset Era dedicated to trying to solve the mystery on why The Last of Us Part 2 is getting beat in sales by old Zelda games.
What a story, Mark.
The thread itself is funny. Breath of the Wild 2017 is outselling The Last of Us 2 2020 in 2020. Why? Probably because The Last of Us Part 2 sucks. The story sucks. The game is not very good. You have the gigantic Abby running around, kind of destroying the grounded in realism attitude the game is supposed to have. The game is not very well received. I could go on, but the Zelda game shouldn't surprise anybody. Breath of the Wild has been a top-selling game for a while. They've just announced... Did they announce Zelda 2? No, that was a while ago they announced that. But, I mean, it's a Switch. A lot of people are picking it up. There's not much to play, so they're going to pick up Breath of the Wild and play that. Now, what's funny is this whole thread is dedicated to trying to debate. They end up locking the thread, which I found hilarious. But there's about 4 or 5 pages of these people trying to debate why this would happen. I can't believe that one of the best games of this generation is outselling one of the most divisive games of this generation. A lot of people are saying here, like, look at this. Subjectively and all but saying Breath of the Wild is a better game is not a crazy statement. It's one of the highest reviewed games ever. They're also very different games. Yeah, but one isn't outselling the other because it's better. That's just dumb fanboy talk. They're both great games, but one is for kids and the other one, well, the other one isn't. Well, what about Grand Theft Auto? Is that E for everyone as well? Is that an E for everyone game? How do you explain that logic, Reset Era? Not that they're very good at that. This is a very, very confused website. We've already talked about them today a little bit because it's funny too, and they're just walking jokes in my opinion. But I generally found this very humorous that they're very upset that their champion, The Last of Us, is crashing and burning. I mean, they were jumping all over Ghost of Tsushima. Remember the desperation for that? Trying to say that it's cultural appropriation and all this nonsense, and trying to drag it down so that, you could push the great champion that is The Last of Us Part 2 back to the top, to the skies with that game in sales, and it didn't happen. In fact, we know it's not selling very well because people are still posting pictures. Check this out. This is by Black Sage D. A great account to follow over on Twitter. Posted this picture. Look at this. look at all that overstock. Now, the problem here is a lot of stores really stocked up on The Last of Us Part 2. It also had the benefit of being pretty mass-produced before everything kind of got shut down by Coof. So they had a lot of copies sitting around. At least that's what I think. But either way, there was tons of manufactured copies of this game, and a lot of people ordered it. And because of that, and they ordered it, by the way, at the full price. So all of these stores paid, from what I understand, stores don't make that much on video game sales. The amount of profit they make is very low. So they bought these games all at like a full price. So now Best Buy, Walmart, all of these outlets are sitting on all of this Last of Us Part 2 stock, and they can't sell it. And there's so many pictures of this going around. This one was really funny. I don't know. I'm going to be fair. I don't know if this is new or not. I'm going to guess this is not current. This is still pretty hilarious. Now, a lot of people are saying that to the right of this was supposed to be Ghost of Tsushima, but it's sold out. That game, well deserved. Now, that game had trouble staying physical because of the fact that it, I'm pretty sure that was well into the Coof lockdowns. So it's the same problem that they're having with the PlayStation 5. They weren't able to produce as many copies, so they couldn't keep it on the shelves because of that. But either way, it still sold well digitally. Like, people actually want that game. A lot of that had to do with word of mouth and so on and so on. The problem with The Last of Us Part 2 is word of mouth didn't help that game sell. A lot of people say, yeah, you get two normie gamers walk up. Hey, man, did you play Last of Us Part 2? Should I pick it up? No, bro. It's depressing. And they don't buy it. They don't buy it because it's a depressing game. You feel terrible playing it. I've been playing a little bit of it. I'm trying to get through it, and it makes me feel terrible. I don't like the game for so many reasons. I will eventually do a review on it, and I'll tell you all the reasons why I don't like this game, and there are many. But if I look to a game like Breath of the Wild, which, by the way, is such a great game, I probably sunk, in fact, I did sink over 110, 15 hours in the game. I 100%ed the game. It's one of the few games that I've actually done that with because I didn't want to put it down. I loved it. It's still probably not my favorite Zelda, but it's definitely up there. That's always going to be Wind Waker, especially Wind Waker HD for the Wii U. That was fantastic fun. A great game. I love it. This game's right up there, though, and I'm not taking away everything that this game accomplished. I love that when you say that this is probably the greatest Zelda of all time, I'm not going to disagree with you. I just have my own personal favorite. So it's not surprising to me that this game's jumping back up. It's been on and off the charts in the top 10 pretty much since it came out, and that's probably going to be the case until they move on to a new system. But I just find it funny that you have a whole forum now of certain people over on Reset Era. I really don't care for that thread, and I'm sure a lot of you don't either, but I just find it funny that they're sitting over there wondering why this is, and they're supposed to be gamers, and they don't understand it. It's mind-blowing to me, even though they don't really care. That game's more about the message to them than the actual gameplay itself. So let's take a look at the sales again real quick before we end the video. Look at this. Nintendo actually dominating. This is the top games in the U.S., for August. Look at all the games. Nintendo just dominates that whole chart. Isn't that crazy? Oh, and it's not that crazy if you think about it. I love Switch. I got to be honest, I play more games on that than anything because I just love all of those Nintendo games. Look at that. Number 4, Ghost of Tsushima. Last of Us Part 2 drops down. We have some more charts we can take a look at. Here's UK charts. This was posted 2 days ago. For some reason, we don't get weekly U.S. charts. I don't know why that is, but look what game's missing completely from the top 10. Ghost of Tsushima is also missing, unfortunately. But, I don't think Ghost of Tsushima was expected to be a juggernaut like Last of Us Part 2 was supposed to be. It's funny how you don't see any articles talking about that game's sales anymore. After the first week, when they had their pre-orders up, if you remember, they were like, yeah, 4 million sold. Take that, haters. Where's the next article? How about an update? Are you ever going to talk about where it is on the charts now and how it's getting outsold by Breath of the Wild? Look at this one. This is top PlayStation Store downloads from August 2020. So this is Last of Us Part 2 is a first-party PlayStation game. Don't forget that the only place you can get it is on PlayStation 4. You can't get it anywhere else. How's the game selling on the PlayStation Store? Oh, it's not even on the top 20?
You serious?
Maybe that's a mistake. Let's do a Control F and let's see. All right, L A. Why won't it go further? Well, it keeps making noises. Are you telling me The Last of Us Part 2 isn't isn't on the top 20 for your own PlayStation download charts? Oh my goodness, what an embarrassment. Where's the press release on that one? Oh, we won't see it. We won't see it. So, I really like seeing that game fail. I think it's a terrible game. I don't like the way Naughty Dog treated people, the way they tried to strike down people's livelihoods because they didn't like that the leaks got out. I think this is karma in full action, and I don't think you'll see a Last of Us Part 3. That brand has been destroyed by the agenda-driven Neil Cuckman. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about all this. How do you feel about people being butthurt about Zelda doing better? I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Also, if you would like and share the video, it helps out immensely. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.